Within the quiet magic of a summer meadow, a remarkable process unfolds, one that has shaped the evolution of countless plant and animal species for over 100 million years. This is the life cycle of butterflies, a journey of transformation that is both intricate and essential to the balance of ecosystems. The story begins with the egg, a structure often no larger than a pinhead. Female butterflies select specific host plants, guided by chemical cues, and deposit their eggs on leaves or stems. The shape, color, and texture of these eggs vary widely among species. For example, the monarch butterfly lays pale, ribbed eggs on milkweed, while the common blue deposits flattened, disc-like eggs on clover. The egg stage can last from a few days to several weeks, depending on temperature and species. Upon hatching, the larva emerges, a caterpillar equipped with powerful mandibles and a voracious appetite. This stage is dedicated almost entirely to feeding and growth. Caterpillars molt several times, shedding their exoskeletons as they increase in size. Some, like the pipevine swallowtail, are brightly colored to warn predators of their toxicity, while others, such as the inchworm, blend seamlessly with twigs and leaves. Specialized adaptations, like silk-spinning glands, allow certain species to anchor themselves or create shelters. The duration of the larval stage varies, influenced by environmental conditions and species-specific strategies. Some caterpillars, like those of the painted lady, complete their development in just a few weeks, while others, such as the mourning cloak, may overwinter as larvae, entering a state of diapause to survive cold months. When fully grown, the caterpillar seeks a safe location and prepares for the next phase, pupation. It spins a silk pad or suspends itself from a branch, then sheds its skin one final time to reveal the chrysalis or pupa. Inside this protective casing, a dramatic transformation occurs. The caterpillar's tissues break down and reorganize, guided by hormones such as ecdysone and juvenile hormone. Imaginal discs, clusters of undifferentiated cells, develop into wings, legs, antennae, and other adult structures. The pupal stage can last from days to months, depending on species and environmental cues. Some butterflies, like the swallowtail, form a hard, angular chrysalis that blends with twigs, while others, such as the glasswing, create a transparent pupa that reflects its surroundings. In certain climates, pupae may enter diapause, delaying emergence until conditions are favorable. The final stage is the emergence of the adult butterfly. The pupa splits open, and the adult slowly crawls out, its wings crumpled and soft. Over the next several hours, the butterfly pumps hemolymph into its wings, expanding and hardening them in preparation for flight. This process is critical. Any disruption can result in malformed wings and an inability to fly. Once fully formed, the adult butterfly embarks on its primary tasks: feeding, mating, and dispersal. Adults possess a specialized proboscis, a long coiled tube used to extract nectar from flowers. Some species, like the Julia heliconian, also feed on pollen, gaining additional nutrients. The adult stage is often brief, ranging from a few days to several weeks, though some, such as the mourning cloak, can live for months, especially in cooler climates. The butterfly life cycle is a marvel of adaptation and diversity. Some species, like the monarch, undertake long-distance migrations, traversing thousands of kilometers and spanning multiple generations. Others, such as the blue tiger, form massive aggregations during certain seasons. Each stage of the cycle is finely tuned to ecological conditions, ensuring survival and reproductive success. The ecological significance of the butterfly life cycle extends far beyond individual survival. Caterpillars serve as a crucial food source for birds, reptiles, and other insects. Adult butterflies are important pollinators, transferring pollen as they feed and facilitating the reproduction of flowering plants. The presence and abundance of butterflies can indicate the health of an ecosystem, as they are sensitive to changes in climate, habitat quality, and the availability of host plants. Interactions with other organisms are woven throughout the life cycle. Some caterpillars, like those of the large blue, form mutualistic relationships with ants, secreting substances that attract and reward their protectors. Others, such as the zebra longwing, are avoided by predators due to their chemical defenses. Parasitic wasps and flies may lay eggs within caterpillars or pupae, adding another layer of complexity to survival. The butterfly life cycle is a testament to the power of transformation and adaptation. Each stage, egg, larva, pupa, and adult, represents a unique set of challenges and solutions shaped by millions of years of evolution. The diversity of strategies, from camouflage and mimicry to migration and mutualism, highlights the intricate connections that sustain life within ecosystems. Through the lens of the butterfly life cycle, the complexity and resilience of nature are revealed. The journey from egg to adult is not only a story of individual change, but also a vital thread in the fabric of ecological communities, supporting biodiversity and the ongoing renewal of life. The life of a butterfly or moth begins as a tiny, often overlooked object, an egg. But for many species, survival is not just about growth, it's about enduring the harshest seasons, especially winter. The relationship between butterflies and plants is woven into every stage of this journey, from the very first moment the egg is laid. The female butterfly or moth selects a specific plant, often guided by chemical cues and leaf texture, ensuring her eggs are placed where the emerging caterpillars will find their ideal food. Each species is closely tied to certain plants, known as host plants, which provide not only nourishment but also shelter and camouflage for the vulnerable eggs. These eggs, whether round, oval, or spindle-shaped, may be laid in clusters or alone, and often in hidden spots, under bark, in leaf litter, or tucked along the veins and undersides of leaves. The plant's structure offers protection from frost and predators, while the egg's color and placement often mimic the plant's own features, enhancing camouflage. Some eggs contain natural antifreeze proteins, allowing them to withstand sub-zero temperatures, a remarkable adaptation for overwintering. The microclimate created by the plant's leaves and stems can further buffer the eggs from extreme cold, moisture, and wind. The egg is a protective capsule, sheltering the developing life inside until the moment is right for it to emerge, sometimes waiting out the entire winter before hatching as the world warms. The plant's surface, with its tiny hairs and crevices, provides both a cradle and a shield. From the egg hatches the second stage, the larva or caterpillar. The caterpillar's first moments are spent on the very leaf where it was born, its body often colored and patterned to match the plant, making it nearly invisible to predators. The caterpillar's primary purpose is to eat and grow, consuming the leaves of its host plant. Some caterpillars are so well camouflaged that they resemble the leaf's veins, edges, or even mimic the appearance of thorns or twigs, blending seamlessly into their environment. Their first meal is often their own eggshell, rich in nutrients, but as temperatures drop, they seek refuge in leaf litter, under bark, or even curled within leaves themselves. The plant's fallen leaves and stems become a blanket, insulating the caterpillar from the harshest frosts. Some caterpillars enter a state of suspended animation, their bodies producing chemicals that prevent ice from forming in their tissues, a natural antifreeze. Their coloration may shift to match the browns and greys of winter twigs and leaves, further hiding them from view. When spring returns, these caterpillars awaken, resume feeding, and continue their rapid growth, moving from leaf to leaf, always selecting the most tender and nutritious parts of the plant. As they grow, they shed their skins, sometimes pausing their development entirely during the coldest months, only to continue once conditions improve. With each molt, their appearance may change, adapting to the shifting colors and textures of the plant as the seasons progress. Some even change color to blend in with autumn leaves, an adaptation that helps them avoid predators during their vulnerable overwintering stage. The plant's seasonal changes are mirrored in the caterpillar's own transformation. Once the caterpillar has eaten its fill, it prepares to pupate. For many, this means entering the third stage, the pupa, just before winter sets in. The choice of pupation site is crucial, often selecting a sturdy stem, the underside of a leaf, or a sheltered crevice where the plant offers both support and concealment. The chrysalis or cocoon is often formed in a sheltered spot, where it can withstand months of cold. Some chrysalises are camouflaged as dead leaves or twigs, while others are hidden beneath snow or soil, their appearance shaped by the plant material around them. Inside, the transformation continues, but development may pause entirely, with the pupa remaining dormant until the return of warmth signals it is safe to emerge. The plant's structure shields the pupa from rain, snow, and wind, providing a stable microhabitat. Some pupae are equipped with antifreeze compounds, allowing them to survive even when temperatures plunge below freezing. Their colors and textures often mimic the plant debris around them, making them nearly invisible. Within this hardened case, the caterpillar's body is broken down and rebuilt, a process that can be suspended for months until the environment is right. The plant's support is essential, holding the pupa steady through storms and cold. Specialized cells called imaginal discs remain dormant through winter, then activate as temperatures rise, building the adult butterfly. The plant's presence is constant, a silent partner in this transformation. Legs, wings, antennae, and all the adult features are assembled in secret, ready for the moment of emergence. The plant's surface, still and patient, supports the fragile case as it prepares to open. Finally, after days, weeks, or even months, the transformation is complete and the adult is ready to emerge. The timing often coincides with the plant's own renewal. As new leaves and flowers appear, the adult butterfly or moth breaks free, often timing its emergence with the first signs of spring. The plant's new growth offers both a launching pad and a source of nectar or sap for the hungry adult. The pupal case splits open and the new adult carefully pulls itself out, ready to face a new season. It clings to the plant, using its leaves and stems for support as it expands and dries its wings. At first it is weak, its wings soft and crumpled, sometimes shivering to generate warmth in the cool air. The plant's surface provides a safe place to rest and recover. It must hang upside down, pumping fluid into its wings, and often basking in the sun to gain the energy needed for its first flight. The plant's leaves and flowers are the stage for this final preparation. Once the wings are dry and strong, the adult takes flight, seeking out food and mates. The search for nectar and new host plants begins, continuing the intricate dance between butterfly and plant. For some, survival means migration. Monarch butterflies, for example, travel thousands of kilometers to escape winter, gathering in great clusters in warmer climates until spring returns. Along the way, they depend on a succession of plants for nectar and rest, forming a living chain across the landscape. Others, like the mourning cloak and comma butterflies, hibernate as adults, finding shelter in tree crevices or under leaves, their bodies able to withstand freezing temperatures until the world awakens again. Through migration, hibernation, and remarkable adaptations, butterflies and moths endure the cold, their lives forever intertwined with the plants that shelter, feed, and conceal them, ensuring that this incredible four-stage cycle can begin anew with the return of spring. As the warmth of summer fades and the days grow shorter, butterflies and moths must face the challenge of winter. They have developed remarkable strategies to survive the freezing temperatures and lack of food. Some species, like the cheerful common brimstone, overwinter as adults. This amazing butterfly can be found hibernating among evergreen leaves like holly or ivy, its leaf-like wings providing perfect camouflage. It produces a kind of natural antifreeze in its body, which allows it to survive even if it becomes encased in snow and ice. When the first warm days of spring arrive, the brimstone is often one of the very first butterflies we see, a welcome splash of yellow against the awakening landscape. Other species choose to spend the winter in a different life stage. The white admiral caterpillar, for example, has a clever tactic. In the autumn, it eats part of a honeysuckle leaf, its only food source, and then uses silk to roll the remaining part of the leaf into a small, tight tent. It secures this shelter, known as a hibernaculum, to the stem with more silk. Inside this protected space, the tiny caterpillar waits out the cold months. It is a delicate and risky strategy, but it allows the caterpillar to be perfectly positioned to start feeding on the fresh, new leaves as soon as they appear in the spring, giving it a head start on the year. The pupal stage is another common way to pass the winter. Many species of moths and butterflies spend the cold season as a chrysalis or in a cocoon, safely tucked away in the leaf litter under loose bark or just below the surface of the soil. In this dormant state, their development is paused and they are protected from the worst of the cold. The pupa is a very resilient stage, able to withstand freezing temperatures that would be lethal to a caterpillar or an adult. When the warmth of spring returns, it signals the pupa that it is time to complete its transformation, and the adult butterfly or moth emerges into a world full of fresh flowers and new life. With the arrival of spring, Butterflies begin their search for nourishment. Their primary food source is nectar, a sugary liquid produced by a wide variety of flowering plants. Butterflies are drawn to an astonishing diversity of nectar sources: daisies, clover, buddleia, thistles, lavender, and countless other blooms. Each species may have its own preferences, but most are opportunistic, visiting whatever flowers are in season. Using their long, coiled proboscis, butterflies delicately sip nectar from deep within the flowers. This specialized mouthpart allows them to reach into blossoms that other insects cannot access. As they feed, butterflies inadvertently collect pollen on their bodies and legs. When they move from flower to flower, they transfer this pollen, playing a vital role in the pollination of many plant species. This partnership between butterflies and flowers is essential for the reproduction of countless plants, ensuring the continuation of vibrant meadows, orchards, and woodlands. For some species, however, the only way to survive the winter is to leave. The most famous example is the painted lady butterfly. These remarkable insects are long-distance migrants. The painted ladies seen in Britain during the summer are not the same ones that will overwinter there. Instead, they and their offspring undertake a multi-generational journey, flying south to warmer climates in North Africa and the Middle East. They travel on high-altitude winds, covering thousands of miles. This incredible migration ensures that the species avoids the harsh European winter altogether, returning the following spring to recolonize the continent. It is a testament to the powerful survival instincts of these seemingly fragile creatures, whose feeding habits and pollination activities help shape the landscapes they inhabit season after season. The life of a caterpillar is dominated by its diet. But before a caterpillar ever takes its first bite, a remarkable journey begins with the adult butterfly. Butterfly mating rituals are a delicate dance of color and movement. Males and females often engage in aerial displays, fluttering and circling each other, their vibrant wings catching the sunlight. Scent and subtle touches play a crucial role, as butterflies use their antennae to sense pheromones and confirm the identity of a potential mate. Once a match is made, the pair will join together, often remaining connected for several minutes or even hours, ensuring the next generation is set in motion. After mating, the female embarks on a careful search for the perfect place to lay her eggs. She inspects leaves with her feet, which are covered in tiny sensory hairs that help her identify the right host plant for her young. Many butterflies are specialists, laying their eggs only on specific plants. The stunning brimstone butterfly, for example, will lay her eggs exclusively on the leaves of the buckthorn tree. If the eggs are placed on the wrong plant, the tiny caterpillars that hatch will not survive. The choice of host plant is a matter of life and death for the next generation. This close relationship between butterfly and plant is a common strategy in the butterfly world. Each species has evolved to recognize and depend on certain plants, ensuring their caterpillars have the best chance of survival. Some butterflies, however, are generalists. They lay their eggs on a wide range of plants, giving their offspring more options and allowing them to thrive in many different habitats. Once the eggs are laid, a new generation begins. Tiny caterpillars emerge, hungry and ready to feed. For most, this means leaves and lots of them. The young caterpillars waste no time, quickly beginning to eat and grow. But caterpillars are often incredibly particular about what they eat. Many are specialists, meaning they will only feed on one or a few specific types of plants, known as host plants. The brimstone caterpillar is a perfect example. It will feed exclusively on the leaves of the buckthorn tree. This close relationship means the survival of the butterfly is directly tied to the health and abundance of its host plant. This specialization is a common strategy in the butterfly world. On the other end of the spectrum are the generalists. These caterpillars are far less fussy and will happily munch on a wide variety of plants. The caterpillar of the vapora moth, for instance, can be found feeding on everything from birch and oak trees to rose bushes. This flexibility gives them an advantage as they can thrive in many different habitats and are not dependent on a single plant species. Some of the most important host plants are those we might consider weeds. The common stinging nettle is a vital food source for the caterpillars of several beloved butterflies, including the peacock, the red admiral, and the small tortoiseshell. The nettle provides excellent nutrition, And its stinging leaves offer the caterpillars a degree of protection from grazing animals, which tend to avoid eating the plant. This allows the caterpillars to feed in relative safety. In natural spaces, a patch of nettles can become a sanctuary for butterflies and their young, supporting the next generation of these pollinators. The way caterpillars eat is also fascinating. Some, like the cabbage white, will chew holes right through the middle of a leaf, leaving behind obvious evidence of their meal. Others are more discreet. The young brimstone caterpillar, for example, rests perfectly along the mid-rib of a leaf, and its green body provides excellent camouflage. It nibbles away at the leaf edge, making its feeding far less conspicuous to predators. Some species, like the peacock caterpillars, feed together in large groups when they are young. This mass of squirming bodies can confuse and deter predators, giving each individual a better chance of survival as they focus on their important task of eating and growing, yet dangers lurk everywhere. Parasitic wasps are among the most formidable threats. These tiny hunters lay their eggs inside butterfly eggs or caterpillars, and when the wasp larvae hatch, they consume their host from within. Not all interspecies relationships are hostile. Some caterpillars form remarkable partnerships with ants. In exchange for protection from predators, the caterpillar secretes a sweet liquid that the ants eagerly collect. The ants act as vigilant bodyguards, fiercely defending their caterpillar partners from beetles, spiders, and other hungry enemies. Birds are ever watchful predators, using sharp eyes to spot even the best camouflaged caterpillars. A single bird can consume dozens of caterpillars in a day. Spiders, too, pose a constant threat, spinning webs near host plants and ambushing the unwary. Some caterpillars have evolved bright warning colors or spines to signal their toxicity, deterring would-be predators from taking a bite. Even as adults, butterflies face many dangers. Birds, spiders, and even predatory insects hunt them, and many butterflies bear the scars of close encounters, tattered wings and missing scales. Yet butterflies are not always alone. On flowers, they often share space with bees and other pollinators, sometimes competing, sometimes coexisting in a delicate balance. Camouflage, mimicry, and alliances, these are just some of the strategies butterflies and their caterpillars use to survive in a world full of dangers and unexpected partners. Their journey is shaped not only by the plants they depend on, but by the intricate web of relationships with the creatures around them. But the world of butterflies is under threat. Environmental changes, such as habitat loss, climate shifts, and the spread of invasive species, are altering the delicate balance that butterflies rely on. As natural habitats shrink and fragment, the specialized relationships between butterflies and their host plants become increasingly vulnerable. When host plants disappear, so too do the butterflies that depend on them. A single missing plant can mean the loss of an entire generation, and the decline of one species can ripple through the ecosystem, affecting countless others. Extreme weather events, from heavy rains to prolonged droughts, can devastate fragile eggs and young caterpillars. Shifts in temperature may disrupt the timing of emergence, leaving caterpillars without food or exposing them to new predators. The spread of invasive plants can crowd out native species, making it harder for butterflies to find the specific leaves their caterpillars need. This loss of plant diversity threatens the survival of both specialist and generalist butterflies. Biodiversity is the foundation of a healthy ecosystem. Each butterfly, each plant, and each pollinator plays a unique role in maintaining the balance of nature. When one thread is lost, the entire tapestry is weakened. Protecting butterflies means protecting the rich variety of life that surrounds them. Every leaf, every flower, and every fluttering wing is a testament to the resilience and beauty of nature's interconnected web. In every stage of their lives, butterflies remind us of the importance of conservation and the need to safeguard the habitats that support them. Their survival is a reflection of the health of the world they inhabit, a world of leaves, color, and endless transformation. Being a small, soft-bodied caterpillar in a world full of hungry birds, spiders, and wasps is a dangerous existence. To survive, caterpillars have evolved an amazing array of defense mechanisms. One of the most common and effective strategies is camouflage. Many caterpillars have colors and patterns that help them blend in perfectly with their surroundings. The brimstone caterpillar's green body makes it nearly invisible on a leaf, while the pupa of the white admiral is a stunning mix of green and metallic silver, mimicking a dewdrop or bird dropping. Perhaps one of the cleverest masters of disguise is the comma butterfly caterpillar, whose splotchy white and brown coloring makes it look exactly like a bird dropping, something no predator would want to eat. Beyond simply blending in, some caterpillars adopt physical defenses to make themselves less appealing as a meal. Many are covered in spines or hairs. The peacock butterfly caterpillar, for example, is covered in black spiny bristles that make it difficult to swallow. The caterpillar of the ruby tiger moth takes this a step further. Its bristles are not just spiky but also poisonous, providing a powerful deterrent to any predator that tries to take a bite. The long, dense hair of the miller moth caterpillar is not poisonous, but it creates an unpleasant texture that many birds and other predators simply do not like to have in their mouths, encouraging them to look for an easier meal elsewhere. Another fascinating defense strategy involves group behavior and the use of silk. Some species, like the ermine moths, live and feed together in large groups. As a community, they spin a vast shroud-like web of silk over their food plant. This silken tent provides a protective barrier, allowing the hundreds of larvae inside to feed undisturbed, safe from birds and parasitic wasps. On a smaller scale, a single red admiral caterpillar will spin its own small tent by pulling the edges of a nettle leaf together with silk. This creates a private, protected shelter where it can eat and rest without being easily seen by predators passing by. Some caterpillars use startling displays to scare off potential attackers. While many rely on hiding, others use bright colors to advertise that they are poisonous or taste bad, a strategy known as aposematism. Others have more surprising tricks. If disturbed, some hawk moth caterpillars will suddenly rear up and inflate the front part of their bodies, which are often marked with large, intimidating eye spots. This sudden change in appearance can be enough to startle a bird or a small mammal, giving the caterpillar a crucial moment to escape. These clever tricks show that even the smallest creatures can have big ways of protecting themselves. Once a butterfly or moth emerges as a winged adult, its feeding habits change completely. The chewing mouthparts of the caterpillar are replaced by a long, straw-like tube called a proboscis. For most adult butterflies, this is used to drink nectar from flowers. Nectar is a sugary liquid that provides the energy needed for flight and reproduction. Butterflies like the peacock, painted lady, and red admiral are drawn to a wide variety of flowers, but they are particularly fond of those that provide a rich source of nectar, such as buddleia, often called the butterfly bush, lilac, and blackthorn. Watching them probe deep into a flower with their delicate proboscis is a classic summer sight. However, nectar is not the only thing on the menu. Butterflies and moths also need essential salts and minerals that are not found in flowers. To get these vital nutrients, they are often attracted to some rather surprising sources. It is not uncommon to see butterflies gathered on animal droppings or on muddy puddles on the ground. This behavior, known as puddling, is particularly common among male butterflies. They drink the moisture to absorb the salts and minerals which they will later transfer to the female during mating. This nutritional gift helps to improve the viability of her eggs. They are also drawn to the sugars in fermenting fruit, so a fallen plum or apple can become a popular feeding spot. Some species have developed highly specialized and daring ways to get food. The incredible death's head hawk moth is a honey thief. This large moth has a short, thick proboscis that is strong enough to pierce the wax caps of a honeycomb. It enters beehives at night to steal honey directly from the bees. To do this, it has evolved a remarkable set of adaptations. It can produce a scent that mimics the smell of the bees, confusing the guards at the hive entrance. It also has a thick, tough skin that protects it from bee stings if its chemical disguise fails. This audacious behavior makes it one of the most unique feeders in the moth world. In a few rare cases, the adult moth does not feed at all. The male small emperor moth is one such example. It emerges from its cocoon without any functional mouth parts. Its entire adult life, which may last only a few days, is fueled by the energy reserves it built up as a caterpillar. Its sole purpose is to find a female and mate before its energy runs out. This strategy highlights the singular focus of the adult stage for many species' reproduction. Whether they are drinking nectar, stealing honey, or living off stored energy, the feeding habits of adult butterflies and moths are all geared towards the ultimate goal of creating the next generation. The primary mission for an adult butterfly or moth is to reproduce. To do this, they must first find a mate, and they have developed fascinating methods for achieving this. Scent plays a crucial role for many species, especially moths, which are often active at night. The female small emperor moth, for example, releases a special chemical perfume called a pheromone from a gland at the end of her body. The male moth has large, feathery antennae that are incredibly sensitive and can detect this scent from several kilometers away. He will then fly upwind, following the scent trail directly to the waiting female, a remarkable feat of chemical navigation. For many butterflies, which are active during the day, vision is more important than scent. Males often engage in territorial behavior to secure the best spots for intercepting females. A male common brimstone will patrol a specific area, such as a sunny woodland clearing, and aggressively chase away any rival males that enter his territory. Swallowtail males take to high ground, perching on hilltops or tall trees where they can survey their surroundings. From these vantage points, they will launch themselves into the air to investigate any passing butterfly, engaging in spectacular aerial chases with rivals or courtship flights with potential mates. This competition ensures that only the strongest and fittest males get to pass on their genes. Once a pair has successfully mated, the female's next task is to lay her eggs. This is a critical decision, as the survival of her offspring depends entirely on her choice of location. She must find the correct host plant for her species. A female red admiral will fly from nettle to nettle, carefully tasting each plant with sensors on her feet to ensure it is the right one before laying a single egg. The dusky large blue butterfly lays her eggs directly onto the unopened flower heads of the great burnet plant. This precise placement ensures that when the caterpillars hatch their first meal, the unripe seeds of the flower is immediately available. The number of eggs and the way they are laid vary greatly among species. Some, like the red admiral, lay their eggs singly to spread them out and reduce competition among their young. Others, like the small tortoiseshell, lay their eggs in large batches or clusters. This can provide some safety in numbers for the young caterpillars when they hatch. The emperor moth lays its eggs in neat bands around the twigs of hawthorn or other shrubs, often under the cover of darkness. Each strategy is a carefully evolved solution to the challenge of giving the next generation the best possible start in life, continuing the endless cycle of transformation. The world of caterpillars is not just about eating plants, it is also filled with complex interactions with other animals, including strange alliances and deadly enemies. One of the most astonishing relationships is that of the dusky large blue butterfly and a particular species of red ant. The butterfly lays its eggs on the great burnet flower. After feeding on the seeds for a short time, the caterpillar drops to the ground. There it produces a scent that mimics the smell of red ant larvae. An unsuspecting ant, believing the caterpillar is one of its own lost young, will carefully pick it up and carry it deep into the safety of the ant nest. Once inside the nest, the caterpillar's behavior changes from that of a friend to a predator. It spends the next several months secretly crawling through the nest's chambers, feeding on the ant's own grubs and eggs. The ants, completely fooled by the caterpillar's chemical disguise, continue to protect and even groom it. The caterpillar eventually pupates inside the nest and emerges as an adult butterfly the following summer. It must then crawl quickly out of the nest before the ants realize their mistake and attack the winged intruder. This incredible story of deception shows just how specialized and bizarre relationships in nature can be. However, not all interactions are so beneficial for the caterpillar. Many are victims of parasitic wasps. These wasps have a gruesome but effective reproductive strategy. A female wasp will use her sharp ovipositor to inject her eggs inside the body of an unsuspecting caterpillar, such as a cabbage white or an ermine moth larva. The caterpillar continues to live and feed normally, but the wasp larvae are growing inside it, consuming it from the inside out. They carefully avoid eating the vital organs until the very end. Just before the caterpillar is about to pupate, the wasp larvae emerge from its body and spin their own cocoons, leaving the host caterpillar to die. Plants themselves are not helpless victims in this world. Research has shown that plants can sense when they are being attacked. They can even detect the specific vibrations of a caterpillar chewing on a nearby leaf. In response to this, the plant can activate its own chemical defenses, producing compounds in its leaves that make them taste bad or even become toxic to the caterpillar. This chemical alarm can sometimes even alert nearby plants to produce their own defenses, preparing for a potential attack. This constant battle between plant and herbivore is a powerful evolutionary force, shaping the lives of both the caterpillars and the plants they depend on. Gap 2S. Long before the first wildflower meadows bloomed, the story of butterflies began in a world unrecognizable to us today. Their lineage stretches back over 200 million years to a time when dinosaurs walked the earth and lush forests covered much of the planet. Early ancestors of butterflies, small and drab compared to their modern descendants, fluttered through the shadows of prehistoric ferns and conifers. Fossil discoveries, rare and precious, have offered tantalizing glimpses into this distant past. The oldest known butterfly fossils, found preserved in ancient amber, reveal delicate scales on their wings, remarkably similar to those of today's butterflies. These tiny scales, a defining feature, helped early butterflies regulate their temperature and perhaps even evade ancient predators. As flowering plants began to dominate the landscape around 100 million years ago, butterflies and their relatives underwent a spectacular transformation. Their mouthparts evolved into long, coiled proboscises, perfectly adapted for sipping nectar from the newly arrived blossoms. This evolutionary partnership fueled an explosion of diversity, as butterflies and flowers shaped each other's destinies in a dance that continues to this day. Through ice ages and mass extinctions, butterflies have endured. Each new fossil discovery adds another piece to the puzzle, tracing the elegant arc of their evolution. The patterns and colors we marvel at today are echoes of ancient adaptations, honed by countless generations in a changing world. In the quiet of a forest or the hush of a meadow, every butterfly carries within it the memory of its ancient ancestors, a living testament to survival, transformation, and the endless creativity of life on Earth. Across continents and climates, butterflies have evolved into one of nature's most dazzling displays of diversity. Today, over 20,000 species flutter through a kaleidoscope of habitats, each adapted to the challenges and opportunities of their corner of the world. In the dense rainforests of the Amazon, the iridescent blue morpho glides through shafts of sunlight, its wings flashing like living jewels. These brilliant blues are not pigments, but microscopic scales that scatter light, a defense against predators and a signal to mates. In Madagascar, the African giant swallowtail demonstrates remarkable size and strength, soaring above the treetops in search of citrus leaves for its hungry caterpillars. The Australian outback is home to the painted lady, a master of migration, braving scorching deserts and unpredictable weather to complete epic journeys. Meanwhile, high in the mountains of Central Asia, the Apollo butterfly has developed a thick coat of scales, insulating it from chilly alpine winds. In the forests of Southeast Asia, the glass-winged butterfly floats like a ghost, its transparent wings almost invisible to passing birds. On the African savanna, the citrus swallowtail's caterpillars mimic bird droppings, fooling would-be predators with their clever disguise. Even the frozen tundra of the Arctic hosts its own butterfly marvel, the Arctic fritillary, whose entire life cycle is compressed into the fleeting summer months when flowers bloom beneath the midnight sun. From lush jungles to windswept grasslands, remote islands to city parks, butterflies have conquered nearly every environment on Earth. Their wings carry a story of adaptation, resilience, and the endless inventiveness of life, a testament to the boundless variety that flourishes wherever nature is allowed to thrive. But in the realm of nature, butterflies are more than just fleeting marvels. They are living symbols woven into the fabric of animal and plant kingdoms. Across forests, grasslands, and gardens, their vivid patterns inspire mimicry and admiration from countless creatures. Birds and insects alike borrow the butterfly's striking colors, using them as warnings or invitations, echoing the language of wings across the animal world. Some orchids and wildflowers shape their petals to resemble butterflies in flight, enticing pollinators with the promise of nectar and a familiar form. For predators, the butterfly's markings can signal danger or disguise. Eye spots on wings startle would-be attackers, while clever imitations of leaves and bark allow others to vanish into the background. Nature's own masterpieces of camouflage and deception. In the interconnected web of life, butterflies become emblems of transformation and resilience. Their presence a silent message passed from plant to animal, from prey to predator. Within these living symbols, nature celebrates change, beauty, and survival. The flutter of butterfly wings is not just a display of color, but a universal sign of adaptation, a reminder echoed in leaf, petal, and feather that the language of life is written in patterns, shapes, and silent stories shared by all. As the world's climate changes, the fate of butterflies hangs in a delicate balance. Rising temperatures and shifting weather patterns ripple across forests, grasslands, and meadows, quietly transforming the landscapes that butterflies call home. Some species, once bound to specific regions, now drift northward or climb to higher altitudes, following the subtle cues of warmth and blooming flowers. For others, the swift pace of change outstrips their ability to adapt, leaving them stranded in shrinking patches of suitable habitat. Earlier springs coax caterpillars to emerge before their host plants are ready, while unpredictable frosts catch fragile chrysalises unprepared. In some places, droughts wither the wildflowers that sustain adult butterflies, while heavy rains wash away eggs and larvae. The ancient dance between butterfly and plant, honed over millennia, stumbles as the seasons slip out of sync. Migration, too, becomes more perilous. Iconic travelers like the Painted Lady and Monarch must navigate longer journeys and harsher conditions, seeking refuge in unfamiliar territories. Along their routes, the familiar tapestry of nectar-rich meadows and sheltered resting places unravels, replaced by uncertainty. Yet within these challenges, butterflies reveal their remarkable resilience. Some adapt, changing their life cycles or discovering new food sources. Others, however, face an uncertain future, their delicate wings tracing the fault lines of a changing world. In the quiet flutter of their migration and the silent struggle for survival, butterflies become living indicators of a planet in flux. Their journeys tell a story of adaptation, vulnerability, and the profound connections that bind all living things to the rhythms of the earth. In the intricate tapestry of the natural world, butterflies are rarely alone. Their lives are woven together with those of countless other insects, sometimes as allies, sometimes as rivals, and sometimes as unwitting companions in a larger ecological drama. Bees and butterflies often find themselves sharing the same banquet, a meadow brimming with wildflowers. Both are drawn by the promise of nectar, their visits inadvertently transferring pollen from bloom to bloom. While bees are specialists equipped with pollen baskets and a single-minded focus, butterflies are more like wandering guests sipping from a variety of flowers. Their overlapping roles as pollinators help maintain the diversity and resilience of flowering plants, supporting entire ecosystems. But not all insect encounters are so harmonious. Some ants and butterflies form extraordinary partnerships forged over millions of years. Certain caterpillars, such as those of the blue butterflies, release sweet droplets that attract ants. In return, the ants guard the vulnerable larvae from predators and parasites, patrolling the leaves with tireless vigilance. This alliance is a delicate exchange, protection traded for sugary rewards. Elsewhere, competition unfolds. Hoverflies, bees, and butterflies may vie for the same floral resources, especially when blooms are scarce. The outcome shapes which plants thrive and which insect populations flourish or falter. Yet butterflies are also prey. Predatory wasps, spiders, and even other insects lie in wait, ready to snatch an unwary caterpillar or adult. Some butterflies use mimicry to their advantage, donning colors and patterns that resemble more dangerous insects, deterring would-be attackers. In every glade and hedgerow, these interactions ripple through the ecosystem. The gentle flutter of a butterfly's wing, the industrious buzz of a bee, the patient watch of an ant, all are threads in nature's living web, each insect shaping the fate of the others in a world of endless connection. Butterflies are more than just beautiful insects. They are sensitive indicators of the health of our environment. Their presence or absence can tell us a great deal about the well-being of an ecosystem. Sadly, in recent decades, many butterfly and moth populations have seen a worrying decline. In Britain, species like the marbled white and meadow brown, once fixtures of our countryside, are becoming less common. This decline is a clear warning sign that our natural world is in trouble. The delicate balance that supports these creatures is being disrupted, and their fragile beauty is at risk of disappearing from our landscapes. The primary causes of this decline are linked to changes in how we manage our land. Modern, intensive farming practices have led to the widespread disappearance of the wildflower meadows that butterflies depend on for nectar. The draining of wetlands and the removal of hedgerows have destroyed vital habitats and food sources. The use of pesticides and herbicides in agriculture and gardens can be directly lethal to butterflies and caterpillars, or it can kill the weeds like nettles and thistles that are essential host plants for many species. This habitat loss and fragmentation is the single biggest threat facing these insects today. There is, however, hope. We now understand more than ever about what butterflies need to thrive. Rich habitats for butterflies include traditionally managed grasslands, sunny woodland clearings, and of course wildflower meadows. The reintroduction of traditional practices such as late-season mowing can make a huge difference. Mowing grasslands late in the year allows species like the dusky large blue to complete their life cycle before their habitat is disturbed. Allowing woods to have open, sunlit glades provides the warmth and flowers that many woodland species need. Protecting and restoring these habitats is the key to their survival. Everyone can play a part in helping to protect these colorful pollinators. Even small actions can have a big impact. Planting nectar-rich flowers in our gardens, window boxes, and parks provides a vital source of food for adult butterflies. Choosing plants that are native to the local area is especially helpful. Allowing a small patch of your garden to grow wild, with nettles and other native plants, can create a breeding ground for species like the peacock and small tortoiseshell. By reducing our use of pesticides and making our own green spaces more butterfly-friendly, we can help to mend the web of life and ensure that the gentle, joyful dance of the butterfly continues to grace our world for many years to come.